welcome to Quartzville Railroad video number 7. So today's video is going to be a lot of detailed information on how I lay track on my layout from the sub-roadbed to the roadbed, actually getting the track down. So a lot of good information here, I think. If you're not familiar with laying track, or if you are, maybe you'll learn something new today from the video. So let's get to it. Okay, so since we're talking about laying track, I decided to show you guys how I lay my track. It's not too complicated, and there's lots of ways to do it, lots of different tools and techniques you can use, but this is the way that I do it, which seems to work pretty well. So what I'm going to do is tie in a section of Kato unitrack. This is a curved section right here that actually curves around and heads off to the left. I'm going to tie that in, and it's not glued down right now, to another Kato turnout, which is back here, and it is glued down. I glued that down a couple of days ago, so it's good and steady. It's about 4 feet of distance between these two, between the two sections, and that's about right for where I want it to be. So pretty simple how to do it. I've got some of these strips of roadbed. I think these are Woodland Scenics, just in scale roadbed, and you can just slip those in there first, and then over the top of it, instead of using Kato Unitrack for the straight sections, I actually use Micro Engineering Code 55 Flex Track, which I know it's Flex Track. That's probably not the best use for a dead straight section, but it's a whole lot cheaper than actually buying the Kato Unitrack straight section. So that's how I do it. I use the Unitrack for the turnouts and the curve sections, and then Flex Track for the straight sections. That's my goal anyway. The Flex Track comes in 3-foot sections, so I got a 3-foot section there, then 4 feet, so I had to 4 feet distance between the two, so I had to get a smaller section right here, and this is a little more than I need, so I'll end up cutting this down with a Dremel after I get that all figured out. So let me just do some quick measurements here, and we'll get to cutting. So I'm going to get my Dremel out right here, just with a cutting tool on it to use it to cut the track. You don't need anything. You can't use rail nippers or things like that. I found that Dremel does good enough for what I'm doing, and I'll clean it off in a second with a file once I get it done. So let me get this right, and I'll pull it off, and there we go. Easy peasy. That looks about right. The other thing I need to do, and I'll show you on this section, is I need to take off a couple of the ties that come with the micro engineering track, just so I have a place to put the rail joiner. So let me show you that. Yeah, really close. I'm going to take a couple of these off, and I'm just going to use just a regular knife, razor edge, just to do that. There you go. Took it right off. So that gives me plenty of room. I also am now going to clean these up a little bit. They are pretty sharp after you get the Dremel on them, so let me get my file out and I'll clean those up here. So got my little file here, and I'll just clean these up really quick. Going to be sharp still a little bit, but at least you'll take the rail joiner, no problem. Okay. So on this piece of track, this is the 3-foot section. I need to take a couple of ties out of both of these sections as well. Let me do that right now. There we go. So here's a little section of 2 of these ties. Keep these around. We can reuse these again to make the track look a lot nicer once we glue it down. Okay. Alright, now I just got to get some rail joiners and start joining all this together. And I need 6 rail joiners, 2 there, 2 here, and 2 here. And of course I only have 4 left in my bag, so I'll have to open up another container here. just like that, we have all the track connected. I'm actually going to cut a little bit off of this section. It's not quite cut right. That's better. We'll hook it into here. All right. So that's about right. That's going to be pretty straight there. The next part of the test fit is to put the rail bed underneath it and make sure it fits properly. And since I think it should, but we'll test it here to make sure. Actually, not quite. Almost. Yes, there we go. So it looks like looks pretty good. There's a small gap up here of 2 or 3 inches. So I'm going to go grab a small section of just some scrap road bed and put it in there. There we go. Good enough. So that looks pretty straight. I'll actually check the straightness of it when I glue it down. So just to make sure, because with the flex track, it can have little tiny curves on it, which you don't really want. Want it as dead straight as you can. So yeah, let me get to gluing here. And what I use is good old white glue. Let me put this closer. There you go. Good old Elmer's glue is what I use for gluing down the road bed and the track. I should mention this is, so I'm not really doing too much with it, making it really permanent at this point. I'm just going to be using the glue to get it down and straight so I can run trains on it. So yeah, let's get to gluing this down. Okay, so the road bed's down. So now what I'll do is a real similar thing. I'll put a kind of a small layer of the glue across the top of the road bed, and that's what I'll glue the track down to. So let me just run this across. Yeah, so this is a way to test and see how straight it is. If you look straight down the track at a low level, you can actually see little kinks in it. That's what I'm going to try to fix. You know, some of the nice things with the glue is you have the white glue is you have a few minutes to work it before it starts drying. So that might be pretty good. Yeah, that's a little bit of a kink right there. Take care of that. And for now, I'm not going to attach it to the Kato unit track. I'm going to do that later after I get everything else tied in. But this is about where I want it. So let's get it all centered. Yeah, that'll do it. And then if you remember, I told you about keeping those pieces of track back. That's where you can actually stick these in here in the middle where you have some joiners. So it looks a little bit better. It won't look perfect, but it certainly look better than just having an empty hole there. So I'll put these two guys. So the last thing I need to do is, which I'll do, is put some weights on this and then let it sit for a couple days, and I'll have a nice, good track. At this point. Okay, so time has passed, summer has finally arrived, and I now have the track going all the way around. There's by the window to the west, and here we are by the door. Yeah, Got the lift out section there, got the track across that, so that looks pretty cool. And then just to show you it's complete, all the way back here to where the vent's in the window and back to the start. So yeah, got track all the way around. So this is a good thing. All right, so that'll do it. Like I mentioned, we have track up all the way in the shed. It goes all the way around. Next stage is to get electrical going on all the new track that has been added. So that'll likely be the next video that I show, going into detail of how to get the electrical installed and hopefully get a train running all the way around it. So we'll see how long that takes. It could be a little while because it is summertime here and lots of other good things to do in the summer besides be indoors. So thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I would appreciate also if you would consider subscribing to my channel to watch as we progress with building a model railroad inside the shed here over the next few years. So again, thanks very much and have a good day.